Ah, life as a pirate. Eye patches, treasure chest, and endless rum. Sounds like the dream job, right? Well, think again, because today we're going to dive into the brutal reality of life as a pirate. And spoiler alert, it's a lot less Johnny Depp and more seasickness and scurvy. First off, how did somebody actually become a pirate? Typically, you didn't just wake up one day and decide, yeah, I'm going to steal boats for a living. Most pirates started as legitimate sailors, but the thing about being a sailor in the 17th century was that it was terrible. It was bad pay, constant beatings from your captain, and frankly, disgusting living conditions. So, when a charismatic pirate captain offered you fair wages, equal share of treasure, and most importantly, less abuse, turning pirate wasn't exactly a tough choice. Alright, great. So you are now officially a pirate. Welcome aboard. Your first shock wasn't all treasure maps and sword fighting. Life aboard a pirate ship was harsh. Ships were cramped, smelly, and full of pests. Imagine 50 guys in close quarters who haven't bathed in months. That was your new home. Meals, salted meat, biscuits harder than brick, and rum. Always rum, lots of rum. Not exactly a balanced diet though, is it? In fact, the lack of vitamin C often led to scurvy, a nasty disease that literally made your teeth fall out. So not exactly great for your Tinder profile. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Look, pirates had some pretty progressive rules on board. If you got injured in a battle, you'd get compensation, which was often in the form of a share of the treasure, depending on what body part you lost. So if you lost an eye, maybe 100 coins. A leg, 500 coins. Look, I'm not saying it was a perfect healthcare system, but at least they tried. Pirates were also surprisingly democratic, more democratic than what we are today, you could argue. They elected their captains and they could vote them out at any time, usually after a disastrous raid or when someone better or more ruthless came along. Pirate crews often drew up articles, which is a kind of pirate constitution. They clearly laid out the rules, the punishments, the shares of the loot. And breaking these rules could be pretty brutal. It could be flogging, marooning, or the classic walking the plank. Discipline was strict because, let's be real, it's hard to survive at sea if everyone's drunk and fighting all the time, especially if your enemy is the Royal Navy. Speaking of fighting, combat wasn't exactly romantic duels on deck. It was quick, brutal, and terrifying, very much like what prison fights are. Imagine swinging from a rope onto an enemy ship while people fired pistols and cannons at you. Basically, total chaos if you went to battle, which was often. If you survived, fantastic. If you were captured, your fate wasn't looking good. Hanging was the usual punishment. And not the nice quick drop kind either. We're talking about slow strangulations, so not pleasant. Okay, so if the job was terrible, then why did anyone stick around? Well, the money could be amazing, potentially life-changing. A successful raid could set you up for the rest of your life. But here's the kicker. Most pirates weren't very good at saving. The personality type that required you to become a pirate was not a long-term strategist. They'd hit the shore and they'd blow their load straight away on drinking, gambling, and prostitution. Then they'd head back to sea broke, chasing the next big score. Right, the biggest myth about pirates, buried treasure. Pirates almost never buried their treasure. I mean, why would you bury treasure? Captain Kidd might have done it once or twice, but for most pirates, burying gold was stupid. They'd spend it immediately instead, living every day like it might be their last, which, to be fair, it probably was. So, was pirate life really good? Well, it had its moments, it had its adventure and excitement and riches if you were lucky, but it was also brutal, short and terrifying. Definitely not the glamorous life that Captain Jack Sparrow makes it out to be. Would you trade your modern comforts for a life of freedom? Would you trade your mobile phone, the internet and everything to go onto a 17th century ship, drink some rum and have regular brushes with death? Let me know down in the comments, and while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.